Hopefully you can hear me enough. I'm gonna get my mic fixed real quick. Test. What are you doing, microphone? Let me unplug and replug. Are we back yet? Why? Bitgamey strikes again. Hopefully this means that all of your audio issues, Bitgamey, are gone and I have them now. This device is currently in use. Microphone check. Whoa! I did it. I fixed it. Okay, sorry for everyone whose volume was already turned up. Alright, we are back. So, this screen first. Hello, and welcome to a dizzying another daily code fun. Whoa. Don't move your camera like that. It makes me dizzy. Welcome. Hi. Hope you're having a great Friday. It is Friday, surprisingly. Just came out of nowhere. I am getting things set up because today is Community Day, and on Community Day in this channel, I like to be juxtaposed by the clothing that I choose to wear. I like the dichotomy of the things that my shirt says and the things that I say. So today's Community Day, the day where I honor you, the community juxtaposer, and invite you to have some wonderful conversation together with the stream here. And I try to pay more attention to the stream, where we can do all of the talking about stuff, anything that you want to talk about. If you have questions or code that you would like to go over as a stream community, today's a great day for that. I also tried to work on the bot refactor, where we are completely redoing the bot in a way that I can make it open source, put it on GitHub, and everyone will be able to. No, is your bot disconnected? My bot's usually the one that's disconnected. What is modern C#? They sometimes say it in other streams, but I don't know what it is. It is C#, probably I would say C# 7 and above. I would say old C# would be C# 6 and before, if that's even a thing. Maybe even C# 8. But when they started introducing a lot of the link approach, or just, you know, the different paradigms that we now use for doing C# software development using C# language, that's what I would call modern. The old styles would be not doing null checks. Link was 2008. So I would still call that modern-ish. The approaches that you take with Link, like where you use it, how you use it, all of the extension methods and stuff that you get with Lambda expressions. Dude, I need to get off this screen, that background. We're going here. But that is a really good thought. It's like, when do we stop calling a thing antiquated and start calling it modern or current practice? But you can still pick out quite a few things that you can clearly identify as modern C#. So nullabilities, using nullable types with the question mark syntax, because nullable of whatever has been a thing for a while, but the question mark syntax to identify nullable, especially on primitives like datetime and string that were just assumed to be nullable, and any other custom type. Sorry, I'm putting on my foot warmers and I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. So I am, thank you. I'm thinking that there are certain things that you can pick out as modern practices, but there's some that just kind of blur for me. But anyway, hello Foolish Nebel, hello Dukasoft, you were first, and Big Gamey came in with the second, and TBD Gamer's here, great stream this morning, TBD Gamer. So first, a shout out for Big Gamey, since he was in the chat first. If you aren't already following Big Gamey, he's not streaming today, but you can give him a follow up there. He works on a game called Homeward Hound during Mondays and Wednesdays streams, or whenever his streams are now going to be. He streamed yesterday. I was there. I was extremely busy, but I was there. Special Eclipse stream on Monday. Awesome. But Homeward Hound is a game about you being a dog and getting separated from your people, from your home, and you need to make your way back home. Did I say Homeward Bound? Homeward Hound. Well, hopefully I said Homeward Hound the whole time. And then on Friday streams, he does a zombie game that he just has fun with. Did I talk long enough? No, probably need some more time. In a minute, we'll also do a shout out for TBD Gamer. I'll talk about him now. He is a .NET developer, application developer, working on Mondays and Tuesdays on a community project called, no, never, called Water Drink Water. So this is a project that he does only on stream and invites viewers and community members to contribute to the project, make it their own. He's doing it completely on stream. So he'll review pull requests. He asks for pull requests, reviews from us as well. But he streams from 4.5 hours ago, plus a few minutes, for 2 hours. And that is 7 a.m. Eastern time, which is UTC -4 currently. For 2 hours. Great stream, great time over on his channel. And then on Wednesday through Friday, he works on a project management system that is going to be robust. He sometimes works on it off stream, but it's going to be like a full-on application. And he is doing it, thank you, Dukasoft. He's doing it in a way where he's taking the mindset of this is a for real project, and he wants to make it a real thing eventually. So he's trying to do all of the right choices with the technologies he's using, and he has really good conversations about technologies. He's not and I like this about him, he is not a Blazor advocate. In fact, I would say he doesn't like Blazor all that much. Nice, and you hit the bullseye. But he still gives it a fair valuation. I mean, like yeah, I don't know. He just has a lot of insightful things to talk about. Pew power. It looked like you hit it right in the middle and it's saying, you got a 50. What? Oh man. So the way that I told it to calculate the average is it takes your 3 shots and divides it by double the number of shots that you have taken. Therefore, you got 100. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, so if anyone has anything to contribute to the what is modern C# question, please feel free to. I gave my take on it. Phone lines are almost open. Start virtual camera. Start camera in Discord. There we go. Okay, so you can see my little icon way up there. And that is me in Discord. So if anyone is interested in using your voice to have conversation, then feel free to hop into any of the voice channels in our Discord and I'll pull you into the stream room. Just let me know when you are in there because I rarely see when you're waiting in a waiting room. Yeah, I'm terrible at that. But just know that if you do go into the Discord voice channel room, your voice will come through on stream. And I do post the VODs for the stream to YouTube, so they're there forever. Foolish Snabble is the one that brought up the thing about modern C#. So he said he hears it a lot on people's streams, but doesn't really know what they are really meaning by modern C#. Got to do a school run and do some errands. Okay, Big Amy, thank you so much for having been here for as long as you were. Really appreciate that. I'm trying to pull up the bot. I do have a thing that is being very weird, although I think I fixed it this morning. So I think I'm fine. Has anyone, this will be my topic, has anyone had experience with .NET 8 yet and doing the caching or the statefulness on navigation? So I'm pretty sure I know how to do it with forms, but I'll show you an example of what is going on in a second once I find the bot. Bot remake. There is no bot remake. Well, I'll open this anyway. Someone's gonna ask something and I'll be like, I have an example of that in the Financial Management Tracker app, and I just closed Visual Studio. So I'll have to reopen it. Man. Bot Remake 2 confirmed. Oh, speaking of, my marquee is showing our normal project, and it should be this one. When I say modern C#, I mean the way the language has evolved its feature set and style with less focus on the whole object-oriented approach, a lot of functional stylings, says TBD Gamer. I guess, yeah, I mean, it's a paradigm shift from doing a lot of things that you had to do manually. It's like going from C to C++, and then from C++ to any managed memory language. I was about to turn that public by habit. So it's like you aren't concerned with a lot of the things you used to be concerned with when it came to maybe setting up multi-threading, or yeah, I don't know what else you used to have to do that you don't have to anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure as C# has evolved in a super duper fast way, so have I. And I don't quite remember the way that I used to write code, but when I go back and look at it, I know it wasn't good. Why in the world would he choose to blah, blah, blah? I find myself saying that about my code a lot. Oops, that's not what I meant to. And it's because I wasn't using modern C#, because modern C# wasn't a thing when I was first writing that code 3 years ago. So apparently modern C# for me is anything within the past 7 days, apparently. In 7 days, I can barely remember the code I wrote. Like, for example, all of the editor suggestions that you can initialize objects using just new, for example. It's like, okay, so that's now the modern style where if you are strongly typing the object when you're declaring it, then you can just use the new keyword and that implies the object type. This guy. And then now, an even more modern thing is for collections in .NET 8 and above, you can initialize them using this syntax, and it'll automatically choose the correct implementation to initialize your list with, for example. So that would be modern C# as well. Oh yeah, question mark equals is the other way. Coalescing assignment operator, I think is what it's called. So I do like that one. Use more operators. Yes. And just string them all together. And pretty soon our code is just going to be one big line of question mark, equals, whatever, parentheses, dot, whatever, parentheses, question mark, exclamation point, upside down, exclamation point. Anyway, okay. At rest. How is, oh, because I opened the wrong project. 2 things I need to do. Let me get this updated really quick. I won't be able to see chat for like 15 seconds or more. No changes, so I'll just push. Cake is a lie. Close this thingy. Oh, no worries. You definitely can benefit from resting your voice. So I understand. TBD Gamer said, I would join voice, but you don't need me coughing and spluttering on your stream as well as my own. One day I shall join in chat. There is no requirement to. Hopefully you don't feel pressure or obligation. It's just an invitation, in case that does sound more appealing to you than trying to type out your thoughts in chat with 500 character limited space. What am I trying to open? I'm trying to open Orme Warder. And in fact, I'm going to do it this way. PowerShell. Drink water. I have known people that say water. That's not a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out as a thing. Repos, Army Git, Army Water. I think I can go here and then do a Git pull. Looks good. No conflicts. No, nothing. What branch am I on? Well, I want this one, so that's all that matters. Git checkout. Look, guys, I know command line Git. Not really. I'm guessing at things right now. Foolish Schnabel said to Dukasoft, I don't remember what I did at work today, but ask me about assembly code I wrote in 1991, and I will go into monologue mode. Yes. That's it. That's all I needed. Open. And Remake get. Remake water. Question for those of you that modernize legacy applications. Do you create a new solution for your migrated code, or do you put it all in one solution? I will tell you what I did later. I'm not happy with the way that I started it, but I started going in that direction, so I kept going in that direction, and I know it's going to be a lot of work to clean up the folder after I am done. But I didn't want a new solution name, so that's why I want the approach. We're modernizing COBOL, so we have a separate solution, I suppose. True. So I guess going from one language to another. Projects have changes? What? Whatever. It's still loaded. That's all that matters. Napalm is here. Hello, Napalm. I do new ones typically and pull stuff over piece by piece. That said, I have seen success starting with the same solution and new projects. So I guess since you said it, and you're the one that brought it up, I may as well show my original approach. The approach that I took, as if I changed which approach I took. So I am talking slow, so this has time to load. I created a solution folder. Where? Oh, I took it out. So I created a solution folder for my Net 6 projects that had already existed, and I was only upgrading to Net 8, but I wanted to leverage the new project template, so that's why I started over essentially. And when I created the new projects, I had a solution folder for Net 8, and I was creating my new projects in there in a Net 8 subfolder of the same folder that the solution is in. So all of my projects still lived in the same single directory, and in fact they still do. If I show that over here, oh my gosh, is there a way to collapse this? Whatever, I'll just do it that way. So you can see here I have a Net 8 folder, and this is where all of my Net 8 code is, because I am still sharing the chart library. This is all still .NET Framework. Well, not all of it. Most of it is still .NET Framework, because there are some charting libraries. The data visualization.ui, I think is the name of the namespace, that doesn't exist in .NET Core, and there is no replacement for it. So because I didn't want to have to completely remake the charts in some other way, I just kept that as a .NET Framework application or API, and just deploy that separately from the rest of the application. So it's essentially a service that lives on the server that does all of the charting stuff. I give it all of the data, and then it gives me back a chart. There won't be a Net 9? Really? Then what are they working on currently? I thought that's what MS Build this year is about. Oh, because 789. I got it. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's what you get. Your bot's not oh wait, your bot is connected now. Why do nurses carry around red crayons? Sometimes they need to draw blood. TVD Gamer said that's a good one. You're a dad, aren't you? Actually, you know what? You don't have to answer that for one. You have never talked about anything like that on your stream, so I will not try to get you to talk about anything like that off your stream. I apologize. I didn't refill my water because I was talking with my PM. I was going to show you this first. So anyway, that's what I did initially. Had a net 6, net 8 folder, and then I created the new Blazor project, and then I pretty much reused all of the same code. I didn't have to make very many changes at all to these projects, the shared class libraries. But what I did do was clean them up a lot. But the structure itself is good. The overall approach was good. But I started using the collection initializers, nullability, because again, in net 6, well, this was a net 5 project to begin with, and then I upgraded to net 6. And when I went from net 5 to net 6, I don't think nullability was a thing. It may have been even older than that. It may have been a net 3 project to begin with. .NET Core 3. But nullability wasn't a thing when I first created this project. I got so far into it and I didn't want to turn nullability on globally and crash everything because I had a whole bunch of other projects that I needed to do to work on and fix and convert and upgrade and whatever else. So I left nullability turned off, but when I created the new project, I was like, since it's a new project, I'm going to leave nullability turned on, fix all of my nullable reference recommendations, and take a look at this. When I build the .NET 8 project, actually, you know what, before I do that, when I built the .NET 6 project, this is what my output looks like. Oh, that crashed? Really? Oh, because credentials. Right. I didn't need to move that off the screen. I just have it. Are you going to connect? So I'm sure that's what I just got over here, which is also yeah. I know. Just stop. Just stop. Okay, I think I can read that now. You know, there's a sauna in every room. Did you know there's a sauna in every room? There's a sauna in every room in Europe. Go into corner, it's 90 degrees. Math jokes are the best. It was hard to read. I totally butchered your joke. It would have been a good joke if I didn't butcher it, right? That's how that works. Either that or just it wasn't a good joke no matter what I did. Ooh. A kid. Please don't hurt me. What? Hello? Hello? McFly? You. Why are you off? Stuff says, I'm sitting in the corner at the moment. Must not be 90 degrees because I'm freaking cold. Or excessively warm. Let's say it was a collaborative effort by us both to produce a bad joke. I'll take that. Okay, here is my build. Maybe. Are you gonna let me do this yet? Oh my gosh, why do you keep asking me for credentials? Armit's local or NuGet local. That's NuGet local. Oh my gosh, stop it. Stop it. We don't need NuGet local. Okay. This is what the build looked like for my original project. Yellow. Come on. Yellow. Hello, disco. Yellow. Build. Yellows. So anyway, yellows everywhere. Like a million of these. That wasn't even a rebuild. There would be a lot more. This is what my current one looks like. And you will see yellow, but there's a reason. And you'll see what that reason is. Yellow disco. Here's one yellow, and I think there are 4 more of these. So this one, if you can't read it, it says package version outside of dependency constraint, Duende Identity Server, Entity Framework Storage 5.2.0, requires AutoMapper 10.0 between 10 and 11.0, and you are using 13.0.1 because you want to use the latest. Well, first of all, I don't really want to use AutoMapper anymore, but there are so many things in my mapping profile that I couldn't just switch it out and say I'm not using it. But that's all there is. It's all detected package downgrade with 2 unused variables because I'm in progress of pulling over the code for these. But it's so clean is what I'm trying to get at. And if you look at any code file, watch me be a liar. Let's do a service because these are the harder ones. In my map. Oh, I'm not using the map in this browser? In this, are you using Visual Studio Community? Yeah, okay. I normally use the map. I like the map. But anyway, you don't see green and you know, you don't see greens and reds in my scroll bar, indicating that there are very, very few warning violations. There are still a few code refactor suggestions. Like I tend to use, what is this one? Wow, what is going on? So it even changed my font. These are not my typical settings. Do I have an editor config in this file or something? I probably do. Environment, fonts. I don't really like the glyphs personally. You're allowed to, by the way. I'm just saying, I don't really like the glyphs. But yeah, so these are a limitation of using link with Entity Framework, where I couldn't just use null coalescing here. Instead, I'm using the ternary operator because Entity Framework doesn't know how to interpret this. Although that's not null coalescing. That's not what it usually gives me. What it usually says is do d $.ltemp ? False. Whatever. Yeah, anyway, so that's a lot of the suggestions that I get now, which is nice. It's very, very nice to have the editor. No, there is no earthquake news. First of all, I don't watch the news, so I don't really know what you're referring to. Was it an earthquake on Mars? Because I heard that there was like a 6.1. East Coast earthquake. Well, in New Jersey. Did it affect you a lot? Was it bad? So I tend to steer away from news that is, I don't want to say negative. Negative is a terrible word. News that is not conducive to the atmosphere that I try to have on the stream. Not that I'm ignoring the things or anything, but I can't do anything about them. And if there is a reason for raising awareness about it, like having people donate to relief funds or whatever, please do. Please do. but just to say, you know, that there was this really bad thing that happened. Stop dancing. For the sake of, you know, spreading sad, depressing news. I would prefer not to do that. Yeah. I don't know how else to say it. Well, I do know how else to say it, but that would just require me being blunt, straightforward. Yeah. Anyway. I just never look at news. Period. But yes. Definitely do send my positive, again, these terms, negative and positive. It's not like I'm trying to be like, so let's do this toxic positivity thing and ignore all the negative things in the world. No. The way that I affect it is energetically. If there is a relief fund to help people that were affected by it, then yes, I would be happy to contribute to that. However, it's still really difficult for me to hear about news that I can't affect anything really easily, because it really bothers me. It gets to me. I'm already struggling with certain things as it is. So I would prefer for me to not have to be involved in that. Okay, so I was going to show you my topic. So here's my Net 8 project. Well, I need a new PC. Well, we can donate to that too. Just start a fund. Just start a donation fund, and we'll have a what are they called? Charity stream. A 24-hour charity stream for a Disco new PC. CD, Army Water Blazor. Nope. Yes, Army Water Blazor. Hello. Right. What I meant was .. Army Water. Army Water Blazor. Really? Wow. Nope. Net 8. Oh man. I don't do this on this computer, so it's Army Water Blazor, Army Water Blazor, .NET Watch, -- profile, HTTPS. Hope I did that right. So I don't know why, but when I've been doing .NET Watch on the system, it defaults to use HTTP build run profile. I don't know what they're called. App this launch setting profiles. So it defaults to this. I even tried reordering which one goes first, and it kept launching HTTP only. So that was weird for me. So I now specify which profile to use when I do .NET Watch. If it worked. It looks like it worked. There it goes. Okay, here is my situation. First of all, I need to restyle this page, so ignore that. Yeah, I should do that because we're definitely never going to use the HTTP launch profile. I'm sorry, what? Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting. The user secrets does not travel with your computer. Army water. It's the opposite of water, drink water. It's when the water is bad and needs returning. Correct. That is exactly, well, it's now just a monitoring program because they did a really, really, really good job of cleaning up the water. Manage user secrets. So does anyone know what I am missing in my connection string based off of the message that you may have just seen or may not have just seen. That is correct. Trust server certificates. Very good. Thindle's here. Hello, Thindle. So I don't know when they introduced that, but it started breaking things for the RMA apps, where they're like, now you need to explicitly trust server certificates. What does that look like? Trust server certificates connection string. And obviously there's going to be like 6 different ways to type it. Encrypt equals yes. No, I just want the one that says trust server certificates. Save. Semicolon. I am doing spasmatic, fantastic, plantific, Bluronic. Okay, secrets are closed. We are back. Let's try that again, shall we? Control-C. I could have just refreshed the browser, but whatever. Actually, no, I couldn't have because it already read the secrets. If you guys don't know Thindle is another .NET application developer. He's working on updating a legacy application. It used to be web pages, used to be .NET Framework, used to be a bunch of stuff, but now it's getting a much better stuff. It's Friday. I'm doing as little actual work as possible today, enjoying hanging out, watching streams. I'm pretty good, says TBD Gamer to Thindle. That's awesome. I am going to try to get everything done today for my work. Invalid login attempt. Your mom's an invalid login attempt. Oh, I bet you it's also pointing to my local instance, which doesn't exist. Oh my goodness. Back to secrets. Speaking of secrets, so let's say that I had forgotten to move my browser off screen, my Visual Studio off screen, which I have done once before in my entire life and exposed a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't want to expose. But let's say that I clicked on Manage User Secrets, which has for real accounts and passwords and admin passwords and stuff, and our SendGrid key. I'm protected because I have installed an extension called NoDocs, aka Don't Dox Yourself. But if you search for NoDocs, you can find it too. So this is written by Thindle, created by Thindle, and it is a way to, as you can see, mask out the values in your JSON and XML files. And it also masks out anything you have commented, as well as if for some reason you have a malformed JSON or XML file, it just masks everything out by default. So super helpful. Thank you, Thindle. It's been amazing. Really love it. Okay. And of course there were 2 buttons. I didn't know if I forgot to show you the 2 buttons, but there's 2 buttons down there. One that says show comments and one that says unmask everything, essentially. So when you're ready to work in it, then you can unmask stuff. Remasking still needs a little bit of work, but that's fine. One more try, and I'll be able to show you what my situation is that I am needing help identifying how to make it work. I mean, I'm going to do the research to figure it out, but the approach that I took does work for now, and I hate doing that because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. But the works for now turns into this is just how it's implemented. Never going to get fixed. I do like that my UI makes it so you can't tell how many characters are in my password. Good, thanks. Okay, so here's the deal. This application has this ArcGIS map that uses a JavaScript library in order to update to get information from and all of that. When I navigate away from it, I want to the expected functionality is when I come back to the map, whatever state it was in is persisted. Wherever they had scrolled to, it's called an extent. Whatever their most recent extent was, whatever selected objects they have. Oh man, and thank you so much for the follow. I completely missed that. Are my ears turned down too much? Or are my sound alerts just not playing? Ooh. What's going on with that? Okay, should be able to hear it. One second, and I'll look at that. Promise. Okay, so it works, by the way. This whole map not actually displaying the second time I come back is because I'm trying to reinitialize it. But imagine that the map did come back. The way that it was working before is that when I navigate away, this is actually a page navigation. These are pages, these are, nav links, not just regular tabs. So when I came back to it, then the map would reset. It would do the reinitialize from the very beginning and then be at the default extent. Same thing with well construction. So if, I can't do it that way. Gosh, 23411, right? That's one. Yes. Okay. Same thing with well construction. Thank you. Wow, that needs to be styled. This here should persist instead of trying to redraw every single time I leave the page and come back to it. The other thing that needed to happen, and again, all of this stuff I've implemented and that's why you see it working. So when I select a site, so all of these are wells, I click on a well number, it should also load the sampling plan data for it. Instead of every single time I come to this page, it reloads the data. And of course, it only loads when I visit the page once, and then it stays loaded from then on. And then finally, the well system maintenance, which needs to be styled. Whatever I had been working on, on that page, when I switch to another page and come back to it, I still want to be looking at the same data. And so what I've been trying to figure out how to do is, since these are all pages, this is an actual page navigation, how do I persist the view itself? So when I'm on map, how do I get it to not reload the map and get the full default extent, and keep whatever I have selected, for example. So this stuff down here, you dug deep for that joke there, Tikasoft. Well. So if you look at this part, since the map isn't reloading, we can look at this part. What would happen is if I navigated away and came back, this would be empty because I've lost state. I hadn't done a search, unless of course, I stored in my own state variable, which I've done before, but then the map would still reset every time because the page unloads, disposes, and then I have to reload the page with the map canvas that we get from the JavaScript call to ArcGIS API and all that stuff. So that was really difficult to figure out. But what I ended up doing, and I don't like this approach, is I left all of my pages as pages. I guess let me show how it does work. That's where we can start. com. And while I'm loading that, let's see what this is. Interactive auto. Yeah, but this doesn't make it to where... I did do a kind of same, but other way around. Wait, what are you telling us with this? Are you just talking about how you made it to where you would blur or darken everything that is not the current line? Okay, cool. Very cool effect. Very nifty. Very neato. I like that. Is it also on the store? Because that seems like a useful feature to be able to turn on and off. Sorry for the glitch. I do like the Windows Hello thing for protecting the password, and you can even mask the email and log in. I didn't turn that option on because I didn't need it, but so here we are. I change the extent, I make some selections, I navigate to a different tab, and I come back and you're still zoomed in. You still have the same selections. It works the way it's supposed to. Nothing in the sampling plan tab page. I select a well. Sampling plan tab page has the well information and the well construction. See how it took a minute for it to load? I leave it, come back, and it's already loaded. So it doesn't ever reload any of these things once you visit them once. And so even if I switch, then here is that new number, and you can see it in real time happening. So I'm trying to recreate that process. And what I did essentially was I have one page and I fake the navigation. This is just an enum that when you click on a tab, it says the current page is reports. And then I say, okay, navigation manager, now navigate to /reports, even though it's not doing a for real navigation. All of this content is on the page right now, as is. And so it's just one page with a switch statement that says, if current page is this enum, then display this. Or make this tab active is what I did. Because if it was in a switch, it wasn't in a switch statement. If it was in a switch statement, then when I navigate away, it's no longer loaded. So it gets disposed. So what's wrong with it is I wanted to leverage just using, because like I had to do a lot to get the correct tab to highlight and all of that. I just wanted this to be nav items that when I clicked on it, it used the route in order to load the page. I think it's an okay approach. It's not great. But what I would prefer to do is mark certain pages or parts of pages. So the map itself, the list of items here, as keep this state. Don't reload these when or don't unload them and don't reload them when I leave and come back, respectively. Same with this. Keep all of this data so I don't have to do a database query. On page route. But there's just so much jerry-rigging, it felt like, in order to get this tab functionality to work the way that I wanted to. So now I took one step back and I'm now using nav items and multiple pages. So I called them app pages, just to name them something different. I'm thinking of moving the pages themselves to the same level as home. Home just reroutes to map page. Home doesn't do anything. It's a placeholder. No idea why. But home was essentially the page that had the switch in it. But now I made routable components, aka pages. And all of those pages are just the placeholder for the route. And guess what I'm doing with those pages? I am still setting the active page to the enum. And then triggering the let everyone know the active page changed. And then everyone that's listening to it, which are the page content components, will receive that. Oh, right, it's in base. And of course, I wrote it in one place so I wouldn't have repeated code because... Yep. So I'm listening to active tab page changed and location changed. Just in case it was already that tab, but it's still a navigation event that happened, I still want to re-render. And then I re-render. And so all of these persisted page content components follow this pattern where they only display, they only render if active, but the component itself will load immediately. But they only render if active, and main layout. And they exist permanently on in the layout. And so when you change page, it does an actual page route. And that way I can do stuff like this content actually has unsafe changes. Are you sure you want to move away? But, you know, given this, where I'm working in here and I make changes to whatever it is, like the order, for example, and then I switch and I come back, I would still be working. Those changes would still be here unapplied. And I would have the option to apply them still. But what I should be doing is you're working in this page, you make changes, you try to move away, and it says there are unsafe changes. Do you want to save? Yes, no, discard changes, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's my current approach. What I would prefer to do, as I mentioned before, is have all of the page content, all of these thingies, in the actual page itself, which is how it started off. But when I navigate away from the page, don't unload, for example, the div map. Keep that somewhere so that when I come back, the map is already loaded. It's zoomed in where I had it zoomed into, etc. This one, again, I can handle by keeping the list of results in memory or in a state class, and then just redisplaying it when we come to this page, since that loads super fast. The map state, that one I don't know. I don't know what to do. So if you have any thoughts, just put it out there. But man, it felt so good. This is why I love Hide It with CSS. That's what I did. So right now I have it, actually I'm hiding it with a bool, a C# bool, because when I tried to hide it with CSS, all of the HTML is still rendered in the DOM. It's just you have display none. So my DOM ended up being all of the results here, plus all of my charts and reports, which have many items in a drop-down list, plus all of my well construction page. So if I had a well selected, plus all of my sampling plan information, which could have multiple items in here, plus my list of wells, which I'm not going to click on again because we saw that pulling the list is broken. But that meant that it takes a really long time for the initial load because my DOM was full of a whole bunch of elements that weren't visible, but were still loaded. we're still trying to print out in here. So instead, I just say, don't render the content, still load the component, but don't render the content if it's not the active page. And so it's super fast, super smooth. How do I answer that? I'm just going to be honest. Almost master at almost. Session storage. Yeah, and that's another thing that's like, if I'm going to do that, I'll use a state class, but I still don't know how to. Here, let me show you what the markup for the map is. Oops, Control F5, please. Oh yeah, and it does that. I'm still trying to fix this bug where it goes to the charts and reporting page and then the map. And I don't know why. Okay, so here's my map. The markup for the map is a div with a few elements that I want added to the map when it gets loaded. And hello to you too. Happy to finally catch a stream. Me too. Or I mean, I'm glad you're here. Is what I meant to say. Is what I meant by that. Okay, my map is just a div. So even if I didn't have all of these extra widgets, if the only thing that I had was the map, then it would just be a div. Then in the background, when I do the ArcGIS init, it will load the map. And the init happens using JavaScript interop. Initialize map. And this is the thing that keeps it from re-showing. So initialize the map, use the ArcGIS map module because I wrote a wrapper, a Blazor wrapper essentially on top of the entire ArcGIS library. On stream, by the way, if you're interested in that, you can take a look at my historical videos and most likely find it somewhere in there. But I recreated their entire JavaScript API in C# because they didn't have a .NET one that was reliable to use. I mean, they had a NuGet package, but it didn't work, at least not for me. So I went with their JavaScript API. This was the original, by the way. So originally this application was written in JSP and they used the JavaScript API, of course, in JSP to get the map to work. And I converted it over to .NET Framework 4.7.2 MVC project. Then from there to .NET Core, then from there to Blazor. And it was a .NET Core MVC app and then Blazor. Lots of fun times with this project though. I learned a lot about Blazor. So anyway, that's what all of this is. And that's why I'm using JavaScript interop. JavaScript P API. I need to plug this in. My headphones. Haven't worked with JavaScript in 2 years. So happy. Yeah, I wouldn't have to except for this API. Most everything that I have done didn't need JavaScript interop because I'm doing it using C#. And that's what I do love about it. I get to write C#, HTML, and CSS, and that's it. And again, that's not a dig against people that use JavaScript frameworks or anything for their projects either. Especially if you're using JavaScript for the front end and back end, because again, you're in the same language and you don't have to switch context very much. So if that's what you know and it works, do it. What was I going to show you? I think we're done showing you stuff in RMA Water. Oh, right, state. So I am persisting things like the list of lookup items. So when you go to this page, see, This list of analytes, I only pull once at the very beginning because the list of chemicals that might show up is fixed. It is very, very rare that these would change. I could add the mechanism for if you add an analyte in some other system or in the database directly, that this will pull the latest information. I showed that off on Wednesday with the HasTrack application that wasn't really demoing the way that I wanted it to. We were in the test server though, so I'm sure in production it works fine. But we have a system where we pull all of the lookup data from the database once and then put it into IndexedDB. And then from then on, anytime that we ask the database for lookup items, we say, give me all lookup items that have a last updated date newer than this date plus 0.01 milliseconds or whatever. Or strictly greater than, I guess, is all that I do. So strictly greater than the last updated date that we have stored in our IndexedDB for that list. And then anytime a new item is added, a Signal-R hub on the server sends out a broadcast message to all listeners that says, here's an updated list item. All clients that are connected and listening for that message will update their list of lookup items in real time. So we could have done that for this, is what I'm trying to say. But instead, because these don't change very often, all I do is at the beginning of the app startup, so this is per client, I just query for the full list of lookup items, which you can see happening right here. Oh, there it goes. There's all the ArcGIS stuff. So analyte, flow type, purpose type, all of these are go to the server per client. I love that one. All of these go to the server and say, give me the list of lookup items for each of these types. And these happen in parallel, of course, because we can do parallel programming. Yeah. So I do a task of this. Update the dictionary. That is a dictionary of lookup item type, which is an enum, and the lookup item values. And I actually have two dictionaries. One that is the dictionary of item type and values. So list of items, lookup items. And one that is an item type and response. So I will be able to see with my custom response model, did any of these fail on an individual basis? So some of them could have worked completely, some of them could have failed, all of them could have failed, whatever. I will have the response model to be able to display meaningful information to the user saying, I could not get any lookup data for reverse gradients. I mean, performance wells. Because as you can see, these are cascading dropdowns where only certain well groups exist for certain systems, all of that stuff. And so that's done once at the beginning of the application start, and then I just pull it from memory. I could do the request that says, after you give me the stuff from memory, also go out to the server and check for any updated information and give me those too. And anything else to talk about with this? There's a lot of styling issues. You can see that it's kind of jerking around. And actually, there are still some that are throwing errors. I'll have to figure that out. Great. Thanks for that. I don't know why it's being all jerky. So plant data, I'll remember that later. Plant data is still, well, I'll remember that when I go through all of them anyway. I think it's running in WASM mode at the moment. So you can see that it cleanly and easily switches between Blazor server and Blazor WASM mode. So the very, very first load is super fast, even though I prefer the app to be running in WASM. And it's super fast because it starts up in server. And while it's starting up in server, it's downloading the wasm.net runtime. And then the next time you load the page, it loads in. Yeah, why does it go to reports? It says map. It loads up in WebAssembly mode. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. And we can get off that topic if no one has any thoughts or suggestions. I did like your thoughts and suggestions, Gigasoft. I did not throw them out the window. I just hope I indicated my approach for it, which is pretty much storing it in local storage. It's just that I'm doing it in a C# class instead. Oh yeah, and here's the two dictionaries. Oh yeah. So I said one is the list type, the item type, and the list of items for that type, but it's actually a function of list of items for that type because it really is just check to see if there is, the function is check to see if there is a response model for that type. I don't even know where I set that up. It has to be an init. That's not it. Well, wherever I put it, but it's check to see if there was a response that was not an error. If so, give me back response model dot return object as a list of item lookup. I lookup item view model. Otherwise, give me back null. And if I get back a null list, then I can further check to see the response model was error. Blah 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 blah. Good times. And it really isn't this. Oh, it's here. It's right here. Anyway, anything? Anyone? Nothing? Okay, moving on. So lines are still open. We have about an hour, 45 minutes. 45 minutes left in the stream. Hello, Goku Jacks. So if anyone does have anything that they want to talk about, either using your voice or through chat, just let me know and we'll look at that. While we're waiting for any conversations to come up, we will head over to the bot remake project that I've been trying to somewhat procrastinatingly do on Fridays. This is a remake of the bot that we already have on stream. You can say hello to our little friend, Automated Realms. Hello. And it will respond using an LLM that's installed on a machine or running, hosted on a machine that is right over there. The end. The bot UI is written in Blazor currently, and it looks like this. I have a chat echo. Hello there, little friend. You can see all of my system messages. You can see the chat and then the commands that are allowed on stream. You can see that apparently Malwarebytes had blocked a whole bunch of ad trackers. Thank you so much for that. I really didn't need to see that on this page. Yeah. So the other thing that the bot has is the ability for me to inject conversation directly to Automated Realms, where I can say, remember that today is Friday and that we are doing a community day stream. Encourage viewers to participate in the conversation. Okay, so this only happens in my console. You don't see anything. And so if we said, what are we doing today? Like Dukasoft just did, then now it knows to tell people we'll be playing games, chatting, and having a good time. The only games we'll be playing is archery, which, oh yeah, speaking of, it also has archery. So the game itself is here. And so I'm using this as a browser source in OBS. And so it's just on this page, and you can specify all of your configuration stuff when the debug is on. Whoa! Zoom! Just a little high. Only a little high. Full power, Captain. Of course, it's gonna play multiple times because now you guys can't hear the second sound. At least I don't think you can. I can hear it coming from this browser. Dang. Your last try could have been a perfect 100, but no worries. What do you mean by that? So yeah, you can see that the generation is even different because I gave it a pretty low temperature, or pretty moderate temperature is what I meant. So yeah, it's allowed to be more creative. I think it's like 0.7 or something. Lurky time is over. Yes. Okay. Enjoy picking up your friend. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you on your next stream. He usually streams on Tuesdays, Tuesdays, sometimes on the weekends. See you soon. But anyway, you can see that the text generation that happens is different for this client and the OBS one. Cool. So anyway, I would open source that, except that I just kind of hacked it together. So what I'm wanting to do is remake that bot. It could look exactly the same, I don't care, but in a more organized way so that I can open source it for anyone that wants a starting point for their own bot that likes the approach that I took. My initial start was from Fierce Kitten's bot. So yeah, because I had no idea how any of this worked. I didn't even know about how APIs worked at that point in time. Like, I had used Blazor forever, but you know, in the template you get the hosted .NET backend for free, and everything was set up for me. I never had to connect to an external API that required an auth token. So it was a very interesting experience. Yeah, I'm gonna put it that way. But now I know a little bit more about how it works. I would like to do it in a much cleaner way. So we have already set up the majority of the architecture for the application. We have a new .NET 8 Blazor web app. I think I set it to do auto, interactive mode auto by default. I don't know where to look for that setting in a new project. Probably here. So this tells us that we have the ability to use server rendered or WebAssembly. So is it actually in the routes component? Yes. And here it is. So for everything except for the anything that is in the account. Oh, I should have looked at this. Oh. But anything except for a route that starts with /account will be interactive auto. And then the account will almost always be server rendered. Almost always will always be server rendered, I think. And now we know where to find the initial render mode. Yeah, yes. Let's continue on with this, shall we? So this is the scaffolded new .NET 8 Blazor web app template with, it looks like I even clicked the individual accounts for whatever reason. I don't know what it was, but I did learn a thing. RMA Water, that app that you just saw, used Duende Identity Server to do all of its identity stuff previously. I was under the impression that the new authentication setup does not use Identity Server. It uses the regular Microsoft Identity stuff. And the reason that I thought that was because if you're running server side only, you could use Microsoft Identity for all of your needs, for doing user management, for doing authentication and authorization, using roles, using policies, whatever, without needing Duende Identity Server to do your user store. What I think I used Identity Server for in the other projects, in my RMA projects, was so that I can get the authentication token. And that was pretty much the only thing I couldn't get set up manually, was generate a JOT, send it to the client, have the client store it where it needs to be stored, and be able to parse it and include it in HTTP requests so that my controllers would receive an identity with every request. You know, the authorize, bearer, authorization header, bearer, here's the JOT. And then I have authorize attributes on the controllers, blah, 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 blah. I think we picked accounts to allow users to set their archery sound, etc. I don't think that that would be needed, to be honest. Because I don't think that I'll send you to a page to customize the arrow color, the sound, your archer itself. I'll most likely just say do that in chat. I think it was, if I was going to put this, to host this in a browser, that I would want to secure who can log in to the admin. Like if I wanted to give you access to the bot to do maintenance inside of it, then I would want you to log in with your credentials. Yeah. It'd be awesome to see what kind of havoc you could wreak if I gave you admin privileges to a thing that you can customize the stream without, yeah, just customize the stream. It'd be awesome. I'm really, like, I really want to do that. I want to know what kind of stuff you would do. I'll probably add a drawing app in it so that you could create your own custom graphics. Denial of stream attack. Oh man. I'll let you upload files so that you can use them as images. Let you set custom things that happen, custom commands obviously, but hopefully make it easy to use. But we'll do that all together anyway, so we'll find out what's going to be there. But let's say anytime someone said hi, this came up. Well, hi. And so then everyone would be saying hi. and this would just keep coming up and then eventually giving someone a seizure. Thindle's gone. Wait, Thindle's still here. It was Big Gamey that went away. Oh, no. Thindle was going to go to pick up a friend. And then we all said, take care, laters. And then he kept talking. So he said to TVD Gamer, if I drive really fast, I'll have less time on the road to get in accidents. Not sure if that accident made sense. It did when I slowed down and read it. Yes. And then TBD said, good way of looking at it. And Dukasov said, say hi to your friend. Then Dukasov said, was talking with me, and I was reading those. And then Napalm. And then Schnabel said, I think the same way about money. I better spend it quick before I run out of money. Then we got friends, humble brag. It's terrible. Okay, here's what I learned. We explored, and I was just completely poking around, but we explored the concept of being able to use role-based authorization, because that's what I'm used to using. I can set up roles. I have a user management system for the RMA apps where I can specify users and their roles, create new users, ban people, whatever. But we have already a system in place that uses roles for all of our interactivity. And in order to use an application, not only must you have an account, but you must be in the user role for that specific application. So that's how we did that. I'm sure there's a way to use policies to do that better, but I don't know what that is, because I've never used policies. It seems like they're easy to set up, but I still don't know how. Maybe we'll do that with this app. But anyway, I needed to be able to just roll with it. I needed to be able to get roles working in this application, in the RMA applications, if I wanted to upgrade them to .NET 8. And so it turns out it is really, really easy to do. So when you create a new .NET 8 web app, and I got this from, I want to cite my source first before I get too far. Patrick God .NET 8 authorization. I'm pretty sure it was this one. I mean, he barely touches on it at the very end, but it's still easy to follow. So I'm gonna paste this. It's his actual surname. And he will tell you that, but he is that good. He is a great source for Blazor, learning Blazor, especially if you're new to Blazor. He just breaks everything down into this nice organized way, and yeah, it's nice. He also allows his mistakes to make it to the cut on stream because he wants to show common mistakes that happen. But yeah, he's really good. I like him. So anyway, after watching that video, I found out that when you create a new .NET 8 web app, Blazor web app project with individual accounts selected, then you get this, first of all, you get the scaffolded account stuff. But the thing that we really care about is the persisting on the server. You get the persisting revalidating authentication state provider. And then on the client, you get the persistent authentication state provider. And so what I was poking around with for getting roles to work initially was, it looks like there's this place where we're adding all of the role information, but our user info didn't have this at all. It just looked like this. but it says add properties to this class to expose more information to the authenticated user to the client. So I'm like, okay, so maybe this is stuffed in, whatever I put in here is going to get stuffed into a job. So we played around with, maybe we just look for the roll your boat. So that's what we did. We followed the pattern that they had here. We made roll nullable because maybe they don't have a roll, especially when we're first starting out. We look for the roll claim. Then, and this is on the server side, then on the client side, we add that roll claim to our claim we're going to use in the client. And then I learned that, well, you're not actually getting a jot from the server anymore. You're only getting the cookie. Unless you opt into, I actually want a jot. But you're just getting a cookie. And that cookie has your identity that you're wanting to use in there. And I'm used to getting a cookie or getting a jot and then turning it into a claims principal and all of that stuff. But no, we get that from a cookie for free for the most part. And so we're just updating that claim as we are getting it. So then at that point it's usable. However, the thing that I was trying to do, so we got this to work, or we understood how this works is what I meant to say. But what I was wondering was, how exactly do we get multiple roles to work? Because my apps have multiple rows per application. And so maybe, did I say rows? Roles. Maybe you are only a user, in which case your one role is already used up. Or you are a user and a maintainer, or a user and you're allowed access to this collection or something. So the answer is very, very easy. So we'll do that real quick. Instead of role being just a single string, this could be a string array. Por ejemplo. And I'm making an array because it's really lightweight, And then the only thing that we need to do is, instead of getting the first, we find all. And now we have our IEnumerable of roles. And therefore, if role, and we'll rename it to roles. Any, then right, this happens last. User info, our user info equals pasta. If roles.any, then user info.role, which we're going to rename to roles, is going to be select the one role. And so we turn that into the array of roles, and now we have all of our roles for this user. Then on the client side, when we are processing those roles, first of all, let's make this easier so we don't have to create a new array. Instead, we're just going to make this a list claims. And the cool thing is we can change the type, and since it's using the collection initializer, we don't need to make any other code changes. It's going to give us a list of roles now in the most efficient way possible. So instead of if the list of roles is null or white space, we're just going to say if roles.count is greater than 0. Oh, length. This is an array. This is an array. Okay. Then we can just do claims.addRange. I'll never remember this. Well, good thing this will be posted to YouTube's I probably like if I was doing this more better, I could create a short for it and post it to YouTube. But anyway, we create wait. User info. Roles dot select new claim type role. X is the role. You don't need to be too worried. You're fine. Okay, so anyway, all we're doing is just saying, give me all of the roles and store it in user info on the server side, and on the client side, we're saying, okay, if there are roles, add them to your claims. And now we have our claims in a way that if we wanted to use it, we could do attribute, authorize. Why did you capitalize? That was weird. Authorize, and then give it roles. Admin, for example. And we could give it multiple roles, and we could say you can be an admin or you can be a maintainer or whatever else. And as long as one of these is in your list of roles, you have access to this page. And that's how you do roles with .NET 8. Blazor web app template. Okay, you are the first person I've ever heard of using null or white space. To your credit, everyone else is just lazy. Yes, you absolutely can. The phone lines are open, and I will pull you in if you are ready in 16, 15, 14, 13. Now. Hello. Hopefully you can hear me and I'm not crackling.
I hope all is well. There's no crackling. I hope
Yay.
I'm not crazy loud or quiet.
I wasn't actually looking at the meter, but I did have to turn my headphones down because I had them turned up a lot. Mic check, please.
Test. This is my normal
perfect.
voice.
You're perfect.
Okay.
You've always been perfect.
Yeah. I am perfect.
So guys, this is Peter. If you
yeah.
don't know him, he's live coding in chat. He's amazing.
Yep. And I stream biannually, except it means the every 2 years. Yeah, every 2 years version of biannual.
Not semi-annually, biannually.
Yeah. I mean, we can get into that. Biannual, you can use it for 6 months or 2 years.
Biennial. There's a difference.
Biennially is, oh my goodness, there is a word. Okay.
Yeah. So biennial is every other year.
Great. Well, we're off to a good start. My first misinformation of the day. So,
yes,
more to
words
come.
Are hard.
Yep. So, happy good afternoon morning for you.
No, afternoon now, finally. 12:11.
Good. Happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing. Is null or white space? By the way, this is one of those places that like having a layer, having something, how do I say this carefully? This is one of those places where having something like mediator and you just say, our app trims leading and trailing white space.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you could do it from the entire app using a mediator interceptor.
That's
crazy.
Cool.
But like, no one does it. Look, it's just something to think about. Like,
no, I could really use that. Let me show you why.
You probably should do it from the web layer anyway, because there's going to be some logic in there. What I'm saying is trimming white space feels like something that should happen by default to me, but I've never worked on it.
And I think it actually, no, I can't remember. There was some instance where I was trying to use just the database response and compare it to my string, which is always trimmed, but nope. So everything that I do in the app is make everything the same casing if you're going to compare it to something else, trim. So that would be nice to have. I've never used Mediator before though, so I would.
I mean, but just any architecture with layers. This is something you would do at a layer. And I'm just saying that very generically. Like, I think you could do an ASP.NET filter that happens early in the pipeline before your other stuff happens. Oh yeah, Mediator.
And TBD Gamer said, pipelines are a very underutilized feature. I've started putting Fluent validation in my Mediator pipeline.
Interesting. And then it's kind of like the only architecture I've ever seen work, like weird stuff beyond the very basic stuff. The only architecture I've seen is like least effort. Whatever takes the least effort is the architecture. So no one's going to introduce a new data access library, one hopes, but they might if it's least effort. So if you put things in pipelines and in these interceptor layers or whatever you want to call them, ASP.NET filters, is that like an ancient name for it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, filters are still used today in controllers, in some server side. Yeah.
If you put it there, then it is the least effort for the dev to, keep using it. So it's anyway. Something they did on my project, which I thought was interesting, was they made every new controller action gets auth by default, and you have to specify exceptions to that, which is good because every now and then there's an endpoint that you forget to put authentication on. If you have to remember, maybe one out of 100, but you might have 100. You might have 100 things in the app, and guess what? It's gonna hit you.
How did I do that?
Don't worry, no one will find it. No one will find it.
I had I think it was an imports, an attribute authorized. So if there's an app that I had that I needed it to where the user must be logged in, I'm pretty sure I used the authorized attribute in the imports.razor.
You have to, it puts it on every page. So can it be overridden though?
No. I mean, overridden in the sense that you can do authorize and add roles for a specific page, yes.
Okay. Because we have old health checks. Apparently there's a health check framework built into .NET Core now. Like, you just inherit from some health check interface. I'm just making very vague terms.
That's a thing.
And then you call some method to check if you're healthy. Anyway, my whole point is we predated that, and so we have a custom written health page. And we don't want that to be authenticated because we want various things to be checking it automatically. But you have a no exceptions policy, huh? No anonymous stuff. All right, we got to read chat.
Yeah.
Both of y'all can actually get in here and what's it called?
And use your. I don't mind.
Educate us, because I like to speculate and start the discussion, but I don't actually have the knowledge.
You know what the good thing about the way you do it is?
Yeah.
You'll throw out an idea and kind of go with it being true, and then someone will be like, no, that's wrong, and then they'll join in. Whereas if you're just already talking about a thing that they already agree with, they're not really going to contribute. But they will tell you when you're wrong.
Okay. So by the way, TBD Gamer and Napalm, I have not worked directly on a web app for probably 4 years, maybe 5. So I've seen some of the things, but I have not been the one deep in the guts of setting up web apps. So it's a little out of date, my knowledge, but I have seen things. All right, what do we got? Way up here. Ears perked up, Mediator, yeah.
Oh.
TBD Gamer and Napalm are going to fight because TBD Gamer says my stuff is going to rely on it.
My stuff is better than you. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's exactly. They're going to have a dance fight while singing. Is it Kill Us? All right. You could go. Yeah. You could go all in everything be mediated request responses, but then makes the code less readable. I haven't seen it, but I can agree. I understand. Returns from methods are totally okay. Okay. TBD, fast endpoints. I brought up the health checks. No. Fast endpoints. This is for the authentication. Works that way. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Napalm says, I'm more of a fan using that library out there. Can't remember. But you write unit tests against your solution architecture. Independ. It probably wasn't unit tests, but I know I'm going to type it in chat. in a depend. You know, by the way, all the Hibernate people were Brazilian. Most of the Hibernate core committers, and they would say in a Hibernate.
Oh yeah,
because it was the letter N.
What?
But anyway, it's good to differentiate it from in a depend. All right.
In a depend.
So that independent was good for huge analysis. I don't know if they had unit tests. All right. So you're probably thinking of something else. Okay. Add health check. TBD gamers acknowledging provides an endpoint. Lack of talkie TBD. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to give my first rant of the day. Everyone needs a USB headset that is pluggable into their computer. It doesn't have to be plugged in always. You got to have it because you need a backup.
It's true.
Because Bluetooth doesn't work on Windows for whatever reason. It just doesn't work.
Well, like with my headset, like as soon as I plug it in, it turns off. So I can't charge while having it on. It's so annoying.
It turns off?
It turns off. It goes beep and just turns off.
Crazy. I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Poulet Snabil. That's intentional. That's intentional.
Fuller.
Unit testing after XZ bug, the back door. Yeah. Apparently they snuck in part of their exploit, or one of the steps in the chain was running arbitrary binaries as part of your testing strategy. Kind of feels tough. All right, Napalm clarified it's Arch unit test or net Arch test. Okay. Zaleas, my ItMeJP sub donator, was donate. I'm up to 6 months now. So thank you for all the subs. I can reply audibly now. I usually just give you a thumbs up and a haha. But anyway, this is here. TBD Gamer, Arch unit looks the same. Looks like the Java. And that was not me. Oh yes, I was there. Sorry, if it's off stream stuff, I'll just not reply. I've been filibustering. What are your thoughts on architectural checks? Unit test frameworks. I don't know.
Me specifically, because I wouldn't have a clue. Hopefully you're asking chat.
Okay. Well, your chat room has a lot of opinions about it. So
I hope so.
I like the idea of it. I'll just say I like the idea of it. Unit test project that kind of basically won't let someone commit or get their stuff merged if it violates your architectural principles. Let's look at your project structure. Because it's basically saying you can make a test that says your core, your main innermost project cannot reference out anything else. What's the most core project? Like we might even count blazorbot.shared.
Yeah.
Account. Like
yeah,
which project?
This is the one that everything depends on, essentially.
For now, until I join the project, and then I create some garbage.
So it goes, the hierarchy for this would be the client services and shared services and Signal Hub and UI just those three depend on shared.
Okay.
And then
so layer 1, layer 2, and then there's a third layer. Go ahead.
Then UI depends on client services.
Okay.
Is that true? No, UI depends on shared as well because I'm using the abstraction layer. Duh. And then the two application projects are the ones that will determine whether we use client services or shared services.
So you could write a test, apparently, using these projects that enforce what you have right now, because you're on a team project now. You know what kind of insanity happens. And it's always new and unpredictable insanity. By the way, I got to read chat. Junior just creates a DB context and a controller, and I want to lose it. See, I was just talking about insanity.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Like there is one step that could be okay, that I would be okay with adding a DB context into a controller, and that's, of course, if you use a DB context factory and you don't create a new DB context unless it's needed. But I'm definitely guilty of every single one of my controller actions.
Yeah.
Or just my controller itself, sorry. Used to get my DB context.
Oh, you would have it just in, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And so it instantiated a new one every single time you did any action.
I think, but DB context, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, as opposed to IDB context factory of whatever my DB context was.
Okay. By the way, there's a lot of chat. Zulia's no problem. I'm just happy I can audibly thank you. It's all good. Hey, I think it could be hard to maintain world where developers without architectural knowledge. And I don't think we're good about like sharing architectural, like, hey, we're trying to do this specific thing that's above lowest effort. Like, anyway, I can see the value. TBD Gamer, someone tried to contribute to water, drink
water.
Add a back-end service into the front end. See, there it is again. Insanity. Only got stuck because of another dependency. TBD Gamer, I've worked on a project where we shipped one of our things that we shipped was in fact a cyclical dependency. But what they did was they used like probably the IDE to add a reference to that project, and they couldn't because it was cyclical. So they somehow added a reference to the DLL in debug. And so the project, you would build it, it would fail, and then you would build it a second time and it would succeed because it was referencing the DLL in the debug folder, which you had just built.
That's beautiful. I do have a really quick story along those lines.
Go for it.
One of my team members was implementing a new test, a new diagnostics test for neural processing units, which will be shipping with PCs in the near future. They'll look like M2 chips essentially. But anyway, so they were wanting me to add the information for that the same way that we're adding the information for the CPU to display on the screen, except that they took a completely different approach and they said, can you inject the NPU dictionary, discovery dictionary into the UI and display the information in this place? And I'm like, you could do it, but sure, yes, I'll do it. So I started doing it, and I'm following their example of how they're creating a fake NPU in debug, and I inject the same service that they're injecting, and I'm like, I don't like this approach because one, it's not what we're already using, and two, we're actually creating a dependency directly on a concrete class in a different library that we don't have any references to in the UI. He's like, I can see your point, blah, 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 blah. So after I make the change, commit it to his branch because that's where he wanted it, he looked at it and he goes, oh, I see what your problem is. You're injecting this thing when you should be injecting this other thing that I had no way of knowing that that's what I should be asking for. And I'm like, okay, that's my story.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I didn't like that very much at all.
Still haven't caught up with chat.
Yeah. You can do it because I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, Napalm says, you drink the Kool-Aid when you've seen the worst of people. Then you find architecture religion. But then you can't enforce it, Napalm. You try, but you can't. So then my whole last period of time has been trying to figure out how to enforce it sustainably, having no authority, which is obviously you could just dictate it, but like I'm usually in a position where I can't dictate it anyway, so I'm trying to win hearts and minds. 5,000 lines though, you know, that if it's new, like I would not approve a 5,000 line. Like,
do I have an
just
example?
too many. 5,000 line.
I may have in the original version of at least one of these remakes from JSP to MVC, all of my controllers had the logic. All of the logic. So yes.
Well, I think he meant one 5,000 line
controller
method.
Oh, one method. Oh,
I've heard and seen, not, I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard there were intense JavaScript methods that somehow got that long. I don't even know how it would, by the way, but it did. Like, I legitimately can't fit any. I'm not a strong developer in the sense that I can't fit a lot of stuff in my head. And I think I am a strong developer because I have that weakness and I can make it good for everyone, you know? That's my excuse. But I honestly can't survive with a long method. By the way, you're at time. I need to catch up. Unit test, yeah. Other people, the biggest enemy of my perfect code. Agreed, TBD Gamer. We're on the same wavelength. Foulet, again, I'm mispronouncing, but I'm doing it for fun. Yes. Our architecture is a big ball of mud that is self-reinforcing. Sorry to hear that. Very common. Before my time, things just got worse. One method, 5,000 lines. So Napalm agrees. I haven't seen it, but I've heard tales. Oh. Tales tell the tale.
Aw, that's lame.
Conditionals upon conditionals. 820? That's a lot, though. Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, that. Wait, 820 for a region, but that doesn't.
What? I could have sworn that this was a library that.
I'm seeing 1143 at the bottom.
Yeah, for this one, for this file. But I'm still counting that as small based off of what I did in some of these. Do I have a DTS controller? Yeah, these are. Aw, I thought I could make fun of myself. Nope.
All right, you gotta go, and I gotta catch up to Cat, or you to Cat. Whatever I'm calling you today, chat. Can happen in PHP.
Jamie. Call them
5,000 line. Yeah, the first forays into object-oriented, I've written some pretty heinous object-oriented code back in the day. Fuel Snable has said 5,000 lines of code and have seen it. Woo!
Are you saying his name correctly?
100 layers of indirect. Man, we're all having good conversation. That is very interesting. The layers of indirection, like when is it too many methods? Because I make too many methods, I think, relative to what I need to. All right, looking at 7,500 line PHP. Woo! Yeah.
Oh,
someone said meow. I hope I'm not saying meow, but I've just said it twice. All right, it is time. You need to go. You need to get out of here.
Yes, I need to get back to work. I'm doing UI design work. What's your stand-up, actually? Let's do stand-up.
All right, everyone stop chatting until we sign off. All right, oh, I got to give my, we've been doing a stand-up this whole time.
Yep.
Feeling kind of gassy, a little bit bloated. Made a lot of progress yesterday. Nothing to show for it, though. All right, no blockers.
I love how he just drops. What if other people needed you for something after stand-up? Nope, I'm already gone. So I've been, doing this and that, helping everyone do their job while getting mine done, as usually happens. I helped Stepan with the UI for the Copilot key. I helped Bud with the neural processor unit display, processing unit, localizations, got them sent off, even the late ones that I was told after I already sent a follow-up. Creating designs for where to put the warranty information in classic view, and working with Arturo on the audio device issue, where if you run it 40 times, blah, blah, blah. My blockers are that I'm doing all of the work. It would be nice if... Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm not doing all of the work. I have teammates that pull their weight. I do. Oh, I also got invited to a meeting on Tuesday of next week during a time that I normally have blocked off, so that we can talk about a thing that our team is going to respond with, we don't know. We would have to do research. So yeah. Have any of you ever heard of Win Verify Trust? We might need to start making use of that for everything we do from now on. Even though we're a Windows Store app and we're certified, other applications that we have to interface with aren't distributed through the store. No idea. I can read upside down, by the way. As in, I have to be upside. Anyway. So that's it for the stream. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciated your conversation. Everything that you said, did, talked about, brought up. Especially enjoyed having Peter on the voice channel. It was much fun, much enjoyable. If you're still lurking on her stream, TBD, and you could actually hear her, is Sorcery going to be going for a little while longer? Because I think we're going to raid her. Sorcery Story. I don't know how long she usually streams for, but we're going to raid Sorcery Story. Hopefully she'll raid us out to someone else, unless she's finishing up, in which case we'll change our target at the last minute. But I'll be lurking on her stream, on Bardaki, on Muniz, on Canny Dev. Yeah. But anyway, that's going to be it for our stream. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Do your best. Get 100 on your test. Taro will know just what to do. Okay, here goes. Oh man, started right up. There it goes. It's magic. Is it even real? Okay, that's it. Ciao for now. Oh, music. Nope, she's quitting. Changing our target. I don't want to do that to people. So yeah, let's go over to Muniz. Completely understand Sorcery. But anyway, check out Sorcery anyway. Here's a shout out for her. She's a game dev working on a pixel art game. It looks really cool, really kawaii, and it's smooth. Oh my gosh, just how clean it works. Give her a follow. Check her out. Okay, that's it for me. You probably can't hear me very well over the music. I don't have ducking on or anything. Okay. Here we go. We had enough time to raid her too. She would have raided us out. She's still going. Okay, that's fine. Ciao. Bye.